continue with the yesterday's example. I'll repeat that example one more time. Before I go further, any query from your end? No queries? As usual? Okay. So right. Let me repeat the topic. Let me repeat the same example. What we do from the beginning, one by one step we do. In the list, if you are adding an element, where is the element added? Let's say list of so where is the element added? Element is by default added at the last position. Element is by default added at the last position. Am I right? Now I told integer count equal to is equal to size. Now what is the size? What is the size we received? 3. But index, what is the maximum index we have? 2. Index start with 0 to 2. Okay, index will have 0 to 2, but the count is 3. Right. So how do you check it? If count is less than how to say, index is less than or equal to 1 minus 1. What does it mean? Count is what? 3. If the value of index is less than 2, you are not at the last position. Am I right or no? Now, how many elements are there? Let us say age dot add. How many elements are there? 4 elements. So, what is the index value we have? Index is 3. Right. Now, if index is less than 3, if index is less than 3, what does it mean? You are not at the last position. If you are not at the last position, I can add the element at a particular position. If you are already at the last position, how can you add a new element? Ages dot add. When you say ages dot add, automatically it will be added at the last position. Now, if you want to add element anything before the last position, then I have to give is dot add, now let us see, 4 comma 90. When I say 4 comma 90, it gives error message. Why? Index is out of bounds. Why index is out of bounds? In the last position, if you want to add, you should not give index. Now, if I give 3, any issue? Are you getting my point? So, if you want to add after the last element, then you no need to mention the index. If you want to add anywhere before the last element, then you have to say add index comma element. Is that point was clear? Is that point was clear? Okay. There is a main point here for the discussion. Product graph. Public. Or I want to give public string. This is the product wrapper. Now I want to create an Apex class. Staff elements. Then I told product. I gave products equal to new list of product. I was taking a integer equal to 1. Integer equal to 1. I is less than or equal to 4. I plus. So how many elements are added? 4. Then I am having public void add. Now they are giving index. At what position the element should be added? Then I am checking here. If index less than if index is less than size minus 1. If the index value is less than the last element, now how many elements are there? 4 elements are there. What is the index we have? If index is less than or equal to 3, then I can say products dot add index comma if it is less than or equal to last index. Now what? How many elements are there? 4. What will be the maximum index? 3. If I is less than or equal to 3, then I comma pw. I comma pw. Are you getting my point? Or else I can give. I want to add the element at index plus 1. Add the element in the next index. If you give 2, add the element at 3. If you give 3, add the element at 4. Are you getting my point? I want to. If you clicked on the first row, add the element in the second row. If you click on the third row, add the element in the fourth row. If you click on the 0 row, click on the first row. Else, this is how we got it. Now, look at this. If your index value is, if I have 0, 1, 2, now you clicked on first row, so you got index equal to 1. Index is 0. 0 less than 3. So add the element at, add the new element at. Then I'm going to say add if I click on 3, now 3 less than or equal to 3, condition is false. 3 less than 3, condition is false. Then come to else. If you come to else, what I'm doing, where the element is added, add means last position. Right, boss? I hope you're good. If it is less than 3, add them at less than 3, add them at index plus 1. If it is equal to or greater than 3, add the element at last position. I hope you followed this example. Clear for everyone? Okay. Then if you want to delete the element, how do you delete? Public void delete. Public void delete product. So what I'm doing, remove the element. This is how we have created. Then once you're done with this, let us create a JavaScript. Text. Page block. Page block 2. Products where A. Column value equal to, right. We are going to give that input text. Right. Then I have name. Price. Name, quantity, price, product. This is the structure what I create. First, let me show the UI part. Then we discuss about how to create a JavaScript. So let us save this. So this is how we got it. Name, quantity, price, total. Now I want to know which row I selected. I want to know on which row I have clicked. What I'm doing. This is a regular page block table, right? There is no question about this. This is a regular page block table to display list of record. Then what I was doing, giving ID, ID, this is what we got. Now I want to know on which row we selected. So what I'm doing here. One change. This got it. At the same time, I'm adding one more column here, FX column. Action. Now, this is to create a buttons. I'm not writing any JavaScript yet, but I'm just giving UI part. Then add. So this is a structure what I create. So look at the UI part first. Note C. Where was that C?
Action.
Sorry, it's lightning. In the lightning, we write like C dot method. This is how we got it. Right, boss? This is the UI what I created. Now I want to control it. What is the action? When you click on the button, on which row you clicked on the button. So you're going to give. First we'll see alert. First we see whether we're getting the row ID or not. Look at this. Add. Undefined. Why it is undefined? Call me. This got ID. Look at somewhere we are missing. Page. Command link. Action. Add product. On click. This dot ID. Go to the ID of the element. ID of the element is already given here. Then check out anywhere I have is not ID. Page block table, page block table, form. Go back here. Undefined. So call me this dot ID. Call it my ID. Let me check. There is some bug from my end. Page, form, block table, button 1, this dot ID. Let me test why it is not coming up. Now, for some reason we are not getting it. Let me cross check the code. This dot ID. Why it is not passed here? Format is right, but somehow the ID is not getting passed. Let me cross check. They give anywhere any mistake. Page, form, page block table. We're not getting the ID. Let me copy paste it, the different code and check it out. There's nothing wrong in the code.
No, action for command link for add button is missing, sir.
See, that's a different. When you say on click, first on click will happen, then followed by action, then followed by on complete. So on click will run first. On click will run first. There's nothing wrong with the code. Let me cross check. Let me try from here. Show. Let me run it again. Preview. We're getting the same ID. There's nothing wrong with this. Same thing I have given there also. Function. I have not made any changes on the code. Just I made. Here in this case, ID is not getting passed. So let me finish off this. Let me finish off this first. We'll check, come back to the point and see why it is not passed. Function show my ID. What I'm doing, void is equal to what I was supposed to do. My ID dot split based on the colon. We are splitting it. We have same story will also apply here. So go back. Whatever the ID you are passing, split that ID based on the colon. Split the ID based on the colon. How you are getting it? Page, form, page comma, form comma, PV comma, PVD comma, 0 comma, font. There's a bug with this. Let me find out what is the issue here. Let me find out what is the issue. Okay. Now let us go back to the row number. Once you got the row number, what is the row number we are getting here? Where next equal to at fourth position we have the row number. Then we are reading the value where document dot get ID page form page block table plus index plus similarly where page form page block table plus index plus then I need to give where already equal to amount equal to percent. If quantity greater than 0 and amount greater than 0, if both of them are above 0, then say document dot get page form block table index. This is what I did. Here I told if quantity you have entered and amount you have entered, then total equal to so and so. If quantity you have entered and amount you have entered, then what is the value we have here? I told first to find out the row number. How do you find out the row number? When you got the row like this form. Split it. When you split it, page comma, form comma, page block table comma, 1 comma. Now how are you getting? The row number is at which position? It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. At index 4, we have the row number. That's what I took. Row IDs of 4. At the fourth position, we had the value. Row IDs of 4. At the fourth position, we had the. Then we are going for this. Four. Yesterday, we got NAND, right? But I just removed this by adding some extra logic. This is how we are getting it. I hope you are good with this. Now the issue here is, why are we not getting this? Is the question. Command link, value equal to add, ID equal to B1, on click call me. Come again. Re-render in case there is a after action. Okay. That may be, see, the re-render concept also will come after the action is performed. But here is on-click action should be performed, right? Now, on-click action should be performed. First, on-click should be performed, then rest of the things. We had call me. Here we are getting the ID. There is no issue with the ID here. What is the issue with the ID here? Command link add button B1. On-click call me this dot ID. Then I'll give so we need to cross check why the functionality was failing here. Let me redo it. Add. It is not getting split. ID is not getting passed. On click call me. Okay. Let me do one thing. Go back to this. And we're getting the ID. So go back to this action. Then I went to the next one. Same story. Now, this is what we are given. Add product, delete product. Then when you go to this, we know which row we selected. Now the row number I have to pass it to Apex class. How do you pass it to Apex class? I have taken Apex input. Why I was taking input hidden? Input hidden. I have taken value equal to. If I assign any value to this, 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 the value will be stored to index. What I was doing here. So we have document dot get is block. Then we have equal to. I hope you are good with this. People have followed this. Now what I'm doing, whatever the row number I got, that row number I'm assigning to what? Page, form, ID row. Element whose ID is row, for that element we are assigning the index value. So if I select on the second row, 2 will be assigned to index. If I select the third row, 3 will be assigned to index. Are you getting my point? Whichever the row I clicked, the row ID we are getting here. Based on the ID, I find out the row number. That row number I am assigning to what? Index. Go back to this. Right? We are into the next position. This is what we are added. This is my requirement. I hope you are good with this. Clear about this? Right? Okay. So here the context is when you have a list of record, how to identify the row number, perform the calculation on remaining things. There is a point here. When you have a list of record, how do you identify the row number, perform the operation? There's a question here. I hope you got my context. Is that was clear? Am I clear with this? Okay. Now the next question is, I want to perform a action. When an event occurs on the page, I want to call a method from the Apex class. From JavaScript, how can you call method defined in the Apex class? From the JavaScript, how can you call a method defined in the Apex class? Let us take an example of this. Trying to call Apex class method. We have a concept called action function, action support, action polar, action region. What are the components we have? Action support, action function, action region, action polar, action pooling. We have a group of things. Let us take the examples one by one. Right. I will try to give you one meaningful example here. Public map of string comma list of public string now I want to create a pick list field. I want to create a pick list field here, where I was giving city map equal to new map of. Then I was giving stuff at place is equal to. You have given this. Then I was putting city map dot put. Then we have, what was this? I just created a map. City name with a list of places. City name with a list of places. Hyderabad, Hyderabad places. Bangalore, Bangalore places. Chennai, Chennai places. I just created a map. Here, what I was doing, I was creating a quick list of pick list option. Select option. Add public. Now we are trying to do it. City is equal to then I created a option, select option n equal to then I'm giving cities dot add. Now in this code, if you have any query, let me know, boss. Till now I didn't use this. Simply what I told, create a pick list for cities, pick list for places, add the none option to city, add the none option to places. Any query on this? Let me create a VF page here. Log section. Log section item. Select list is equal to 1. Then I give Now let us go with this review. You got a city, places, 2 pick list field, there is no dependency, right? Now what I was doing, go to the map, get all the places, get all the keys. What is the key? Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore. So what I'm doing here, set of string is equal to, we get all the keys. Then take one by one key. Take one by one key. Select option S, S. Then we added here. Take one by one key, add the places. Take one by one key, add the cities. Go back here. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai. Right. Now if I select Hyderabad, we need to get Hyderabad places. Bangalore, Bangalore places. Am I clicking on a button? No. When the change occurs on pick list. Now generally, when any event like on click, on change, on focus, on blur, all these are what? Events. When the event occurs, what should happen? I have to call JavaScript. On click, JavaScript. On change, JavaScript. On focus, JavaScript. On press, JavaScript. When any event occurs, I want to call it JavaScript. But in my case, I don't want to call it JavaScript. I want to call a method from Apex class. When the event occurs, I want to call a method from Apex class. So let us see this example here. I am creating a method here. Public void I'm giving if first this is dot if city is selected equal to if you have selected none, if you not selected none, then what should I get? List of string my place is equal to city map dot get of. If you selected Hyderabad, I will get Hyderabad places. If I select Bangalore, I will get Bangalore places. If I select Chennai, I will get Chennai places. Then take one by one option. Then we are giving then in both the cases I have to add none option. So look at this. If the city you have selected is Hyderabad, get me Hyderabad places, add it to the places pick list. If the city what you selected is Chennai, get the Chennai places, add it to the Chennai list. This is what I'm doing. Now listen carefully here. This is the concept what I am trying to discuss. Now listen to the concept. Now the concept is whenever the change happens on this pick list, whenever the change happens on this element, you want some action to be performed. When the event occurs on this element, you want some action to be performed. So what I'm doing, Apex action. Where I am writing within the element, in which element the event is occurring, in that element we are writing. Open input text, action support, close input text. Select list, open select list, action support, close select list. Now what I am doing, in whichever the element event is occurring, in whichever the element event is occurring, in that element we want to perform some action, right? In whichever the element event is occurring, in that element you write action support. In the pick list event is occurring, so I wrote action support within the pick list. Event When on change occurs, action equal to set. Generally, event occurs, what will happen? JavaScript will be called. When the event occurs, what will happen? JavaScript will be called. But what I'm saying, when the event call on change occurs, don't call a JavaScript, call a Apex class method. When an event call on change occurs, don't call a JavaScript, call a Apex class method. When an event call on change occurs, don't call a JavaScript, call a Apex class method. So go to a preview. And change occurs here. So if the values are modifying, we are calling a method from Apex class. When that method is called, when the change occurs on this field, when the change occurs on this input or select list, automatically call a method from Apex class. Again, I repeat, boss, generally, when the Apex class will be called, when you click on a button, when you click on a link. But here what I am saying, whenever the change occurs on, any one of the element, whenever you focus on any one of the element, whenever any event is occurring on an element, you want some Apex side action to be performed. When any event occurs on the element, you want some Apex side action to be performed. That is the reason we are going with action support. Did you get my requirement? When any event occurs, generally JavaScript will be called. But when the event occurs, I want to call Apex class method. Then I go for action support. Where will you define action support? Within the element. So in that element, if this event occurs, all this acts. I hope you are clear. Did you get my point? Let me give simplified straight away example. So we have name, then we have name, city, result. Name, city, result. When you call this, what is the output we are going to get? Your name is the following value, city is shown. This is the basic example. Am I right? Okay. Let us go to VF page. Controller we have. Was giving name, value equal to value equal to action. So this is the basic example what we have given. Click on a preview. Okay. When a change is occurring here, anything is happening? No, right? Then I clicked on submit. When I click on submit, it went to the Apex class, invoked a method call. Now what I'm saying, I don't want to give a button. I don't want to give a link. Now what I'm doing, I entered the data, clicked on the button. Button is calling the action. I don't want to give a button. Automatically, if the name is modified, the value should be modified. If the name is modified, the value should be modified. Then how will you achieve it? So what I will do, go back here. I remove the button. Now input text. Whenever the input changes, whenever the input changes, the value in the box is changed. If the value in this box is modified, I want some action to be performed. Apex action. So whenever the value in this input text box is modified, whenever the value in the input text box is modified, whenever the value in the input text box is modified, then invoke a method called call me. Then I give you. Reading, your name is Satish Sri blank. Are you getting my point here? Whenever the value in this box is changing, automatically it is calling a method from Apex class. So when any event occurs on that element, when any event occurs on that element, we want to call a method from Apex class. Now even on this I want to perform second element. Then how will I do it? Change action. That's what I give. So go back to this. Right. When event occurs, I hope you're good with this. Am I clear? So what was the context? When any event occurs on the element, you want to call some server-side action. Then we go for action support. Where will you define the action support? Within the element. Within the element. Open the element, action support, close the element. Where will you define action support? Open the element, action support, close the element. 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 I hope you're good with this. Now, let us go to the next concept. What is the drawback of this? When I want to apply the same thing for 4 elements, 4 times I have to define. Now, here I want to call me method. I define action support for name. Even for city, I want to apply. Even in the city, I applied one more action support. Like that, if you want to invoke a server-side action when an event occurs, within every element I have to define one action support. So we are writing a number of times. We are writing number of times. What is my requirement? My requirement is when the event occurs, I have to go to JavaScript. In the JavaScript, I want to perform some validation. Once the validation is completed, then only I want to call server-side action. What is my requirement? When the event occurs, go to JavaScript, perform the validation, then call the Apex class method. Then what is your requirement? When an event occurs, go to JavaScript, JavaScript to Apex class. Then this is not the right. Then what is the other way we have? Action function. What is the next concept we have? Action. Same code I am taking. Same code, same class, but a slight change. Now, same code I'm taking, but what I'm doing, I'm removing this. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here, on change. When the event occurs, we are calling. When the event occurs, we want to call. Then, look at the point. We are defining Apex action. We are giving a name. What is that name? Action function. Action function. Name equal to, let's say, fun ID. What is the name of this action function? Fun. When you call this action function, what is the method that it will be called? If somebody call action function, it is going to invoke call me function. When somebody call action function, it is going to call a method call me. Look at the point. If somebody call action function, what is the name? Fun. If somebody call fun, it is going to call a method call me. Anybody call fun, it will call a method call me. Now the question is, from where are we going to call fun? The question is, from where we are going to call fun? Fun is called from JavaScript. From where we call action function? From JavaScript we call action function. From JavaScript we call action function. When the name changes, it is going to show. So in the show, I'm calling. Now what was this? Whenever any change occurs on this, JavaScript is called. From the JavaScript you are calling what? Now how many times I have defined action function? Only once. But it is called by number of elements. Action support, for every element we have to define separately. Action function we have defined only once. When event occurs, call the JavaScript. JavaScript will call action function. Now look at this example. Name testing. Are you getting? Same logic. But how many times I defined? Only once I have defined. How many times I defined? Only once. How many times I defined? Only once. Right? But used it many times. Now here, even I want to make some changes here. Look at the point. Now, place and age. We are only passing which values here? Name and okay. We are passing only name and city. What about the other two? Fun. Sanagar. Now I'm calling a fun with the two parameters, Sanagar and fun. What are you doing in action function? If you want, boss, before calling the function call me, before running the call me function, fx param name equal to place assign to name. What are the value you are giving? What is this? SRN. That is a place. Assign to the variable called fx param name equal to age assign to. Now, what was the requirement? Before you run the method call me, first assign the value of place, assign the value of age, then you call the method call me. When you say fx param, before you run the method call me, before you run the method call me, assign the value of place, assign the value of age, then you call the method call me. Go back to this. What was that? Place is Sanagar, age is 40. Are you getting my point here? So what was this? In the action function, before we call the method, we can also set the value of few variables. In the action support, we will be calling the method directly. In the action function, we can also set the value of few variables before we invoke the action. Before we invoke the action. Are you getting my point? Is that was clear? Did you get my point here? Action function is also like action support, but action function is called from JavaScript. Action function is called from JavaScript. Before we call the method from Apex class, we can also set the values of a variables. I will give one meaningful example. Try to understand this concept. Listen to this context, everyone. I want to take public void we give this structure. So I am creating a VF page. So let us see this. Input test. Text. I was giving this basic example. Look at this, everyone. Now I am not assigning the value to a variable. I am not assigning a value to a variable. Like previous example, I am not assigning the value to a variable. Then I gave, in the previous example, straight away I told, save the value to the variable called name, save the value to the variable called age. But here I was not mentioning that. So my requirement is on change. On change. What happened? Whenever the value of the name changes, call the JavaScript show. Industry is modified, call the JavaScript show. Now what I was doing here, try to understand this requirement. Script. Function. Function show where name equal to document dot get element by ID, page, form, page block, where industry equal to document dot get element, page block, name and industry. We had a name, we had industry. Now what I'm doing? If name is not equal to blank and industry is, if name is not blank, industry is not blank. When the value of the name is not blank, industry is not blank, then only call action function. What was that? Boss, when the name is not blank, industry is not blank. When the name is not blank, industry is not blank, then only call action function. I want to call the action function only when the values are entered. I want to call the action function only when the values are entered. Now I am applying a validation rule here. Don't call me the method from Apex class directly. Apply the validation rule. Check whether the values are entered or not. Only after the values are entered, then call. This I cannot do if the action support. Action support will directly call the method. But action function going to the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, I can apply validation rules. When the validation rules are true, then only I am giving. What was the requirement? Whenever the change occurs, it will go to JavaScript, verify whether value of name and industry are entered. If the value of the name and industry are entered, then only call the method from Apex class. Now you have a requirement like this. Enter the username password. When enter the username password, it will verify. After entering the username password only, go to the server and check whether they are valid or not. If you don't enter the username password, don't send it to the server, throw the error message here itself. Are you getting my point here? So if the username and password is not entered, I'll throw error message here only. It is a must that you have to enter username password. Are you getting my point? I have a choice to validate first, then go to the Apex class. That's the advantage what I have by going to. So action function is called from JavaScript. Is not called. Right, boss? Right? So in the action function is called from JavaScript. So we have a choice to validate, apply the validation, then invoke the method from Apex class. So this is the two functionalities what we have seen: action support and action function. Still we have action region, action polar, action status. Then I will show you how to write a SQL query from JavaScript, how to make a DML operation from JavaScript. That will be the class for tomorrow. You know, okay, making a SQL queries, making a DML operation directly from the JavaScript, remote action. So we have remote action, SQLs, DML, action region. This will be the topic tomorrow. So doing these things from JavaScript, right? So that's all from my end. See you all in the next session.
Hi Satish, I'm looking to give exam for PD1. So is there any latest dump available for that?
1 minute. Yes, Ajay. Ashish. Yeah. 1 minute, Ashish.
Yeah.
1 minute, Ashish. Hemant. అది $5,500 వచ్చాయి ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ పాస్ $5,500. Yeah, Ashish, go ahead.
Yeah, Satish. So Satish, I am planning to give PD1 exam. So is there any latest DP?
Yeah, you can talk to the admin people, boss. They'll be sharing the latest dump what they have.
Okay, actually I got them from them, and basically it was for previous release. So I'm not sure if that dump will be helpful or not.
Now, area of the question, whichever the area they're asking the question, that area of the question you need to prepare apart from that questions. So, or now if they're asking about with sharing, now you need to prepare about with sharing topic also. Now, okay. Generally the questions will repeat, but we don't want to give a word on that. Generally the questions will, but we don't want to give a confirmation on that.
Okay. Thank you, Satish.
రాదు నీకు లేదమ్మా చెక్ చేసినావా ఎప్పుడు రెకన్ నోట్స్ ఎప్పుడు అప్లోడ్ అయింది 1 week పడుతుంది 1 week to 10 days. Yeah, Saturday అడిగి నేను ఇస్తాను.